Hi, Director Anli. Nice to meet you. It's truly an honor to speak with you. My name is Angel Teng. I came from Taiwan to study film directing at Cal Arts. And I started my film career as a screenwriter. So I will focus on your philosophy of future filmmaking and storytelling. And first, I like to start with COVID-19 because it obviously has changed everything for everyone. So I'm just wondering, have you got any creative inspirations so far from this pandemic?
I think movies heading that direction, virtual, you mentioned, a different way of movie making. I think the pandemic's situation only speed that thing up. It might just boost up 10 years. Even after pandemic, we'll see how we make movie different. So you don't go to Canada to shoot Brokeback Mountain. If you shoot that, like in this room, yeah. Like we're communicating with each other, and we put different background, and we pretend we're movies pretending. If the virtual, the animation, and the virtual environment that provided to the filmmakers is convenient enough, is realistic enough, then they really free filmmakers from restriction. Some will argue that I need restrictions so I can be more creative. But let's put that aside. You can almost put the budgetary issues aside, and it can really expand your movie work. I'm writing something, pretend there's no budget. That's what I'm doing. I'm writing that script, and it all hell break loose because I probably lose narrative. Narrative you have to narrow down. The reason it costs, the way you think about things more linear. Now it can be more expanding, like in a book. It's because I'm dramatically trained. I want to see something before I start to imagine. I want to see real people, real location. That's when the movie fashion in my head. But with virtual, you have to see it. You have to be like a painter, like a cartoon drawer. You have to see it before you start communicating, before you imagine it. And that's a very different talent and skill. I think those filmmakers are in an advantage. Starting from Pi, I was forced to go that direction. I have to see it because with the boy adrift on the ocean, there's no reference. There's nothing to see. With the tiger, I cannot create something for me to start imagining, to take reference, to be inspired. It has to come from here, from nothing. Abstract thinking, then visualize it, then you apply it, then you take it as it is. So it's a different process. And in that kind of movie making, it's not like you have a pre-production, then you go out to shoot. Then once you collect everything, you go to the editing room, post, they go through audience test and studio, whatever. That very rigid kind of a production. That's how only way we know how to make movie. It might not be like that. I think for I keep saying your generation, not to look at you being young or me being old, but just the way we brought up was different. You brought up with different media, a lot of information come to you, very different than my generation or from Lisa's generation. I think you probably be happy doing that. But no, we just started. We don't know what that's like. And I truly hope that free you from your creativity and you can cocktail your ways. You shoot something, you pretend something, animate something, and then you make the movie real. And you just create your movie more in your hands, less by excavation. A movie or you wake up in the morning, filmmaker, the shooting day, you look out the window. I'm not a farmer, but I look out the window, look at the sky. You constantly deal with the limitations you're given, and you're not free to do what. I think you're gonna have more freedom.
Thank you for your encouragement. Yeah, I think pandemic has obviously changed the way we make film and probably the content of film. And I just hope probably because we are doing everything online with the virtual production, there will be more Asian filmmakers on the international market, like film industry. My next question is about Asian community because I think in today's Hollywood, those non-English speaking films made by Asian filmmakers are more welcomed by the Western audience. And would you share your observations on this change?
It's keep improving from my student days. I see it more and more open. The first 20 years of my career is just keep open. Lately, I think just the political atmosphere, people are more closing up. I don't like that, but just the way it is. I don't know if it's fair to say or not. I found a lot of Asian projects about young people found their parents stubborn. That's like mainstream. I would like to see variety type of movies, not ethnic drama, family drama, or coming of age. I would like to see more variety of movie makings and genres. I think for Asian or minority, to get to the broader, to get to the audience, broader or not, I think it's important and to do two principles. One is you have to be specific, like who you are, the specificity. I think people like to see something different. And you also have to understand the common knowledge, what's in common, all humanity, the big subjects. I think you need to hit both of them. What's common, what's universal, and also what's specific.
I totally agree because you are truly a role model to bring a huge variety of different films to the audience. You have made a broad range of different genres like martial arts, superhero, and magic realism. So I'm curious, do you have a essential philosophy of storytelling, or has it evolved when you work across different genres over the decades?
Well, the philosophy comes later. The impulse. Yeah. Take the poster behind you. I grew up in Taiwan. I have nothing in common with the gay cowboy in Wyoming. Now, how do I connect with that? But I don't know. I never want to know. I know I want to do it. It just speaks to me. I have an urge to do it. Then I just go about it and I find a philosophy on the way. Philosophy is something when people ask you that question in the interview, you have to make something up. But that's not the impulse in the movie. When you articulate something, when you put in a sentence, you rationalize it. I don't believe movies are actually like that. I just don't want to believe that. I think movies are impulse. It's image, it's sight and sound. It's a heart to heart. The genre or the way I do it is a fallback of something I didn't know what to do. There will be every movie. There's a point I don't know what to do. It doesn't make sense. It cannot be understood, and then I have to trim them into some kind of shape or some kind of genre or a combination of genres or some kind of philosophy. You gotta have a theme so people know why they're watching it. But eventually, it will narrow down to a movie shape. That I would call philosophy. Over the years, the common through line of my movies, it's been changing. You know, I thought it's family trilogy, it's about my father, but it's not really. When I did sensibility, I thought, it's a social obligation versus personal free will. And then it just kept changing. I think growing up in Taiwan, I come from Taiwan, and come to America, and we have had some identity security issues. In some ways, in my movies, the characters really want to find something to believe, want to find faith, whether it's Pi or Brokeback Mountain. I know the characters, like myself, always want to find something to believe in that we can hold on, that doesn't change. Then sooner or later, you'll find out the only thing that don't change is everything will change on you. Nothing stands still. It can be dissolutional, but you have to hang on to something. I think that's the inner conflict I have. It appears again and again in my movies. I think that's psychology rather than philosophy. Whatever the color is, when they watch, when they're not watching you, they're watching themselves. No.